What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Thor Media podcast. I am your host, Sock from Detailing Made Simple. And if you haven't watched last week's video on how we wash, decon, and pretty much remove 90% of the water spots before we even started polishing, click on that video. Trust me, it's very informative, especially if you're using a true acid, say like Ragnarok, Meguiar's Wheel Brightener, or Jimbo's Pure Magic Cleaner. Just using an acidic cleaner that's dedicated to help. You're not going to use it every time we have water spots, but for something like this in this nature that we're doing a complete reset, it's definitely going to help out, especially what the customer is asking for. Now, a quick history about this before we get to the polishing step is the first time it even came to get a polish about 8-9 months ago. The difference between this vehicle is that the vehicle ended up getting polished and reworked by a body shop, and the customer hated it. You've seen they burned through the plastic trim. They also left swirls and rotary and holograms and all that stuff. They just did a terrible job, and pretty much we don't want to be too aggressive. The owner does want to keep this vehicle for long term, and yes, there are some swirls and scratches. That is just the nature of the beast of having a black vehicle. And also it looks like the owner's wife does put her bags or belongings on the hood and stuff like that. So there are going to be deeper scratches and swirls. That is just what's going to happen, but we're not going for perfection here. What we're going here is to help remove, say, 50% of the swirls and scratches with a paint enhancement, brighten up the paint, and then apply a brand new layer of ceramic coating, and then that is pretty much it. So yeah, what are we going to be using? And also, there is a huge sale for the month of August. This is pretty much the last week for all of you to grab it. It is a microfiber sale, so I'll play it on right here.
Hulk up on premium microfiber at the end of the summer. Brother. Red and yellow is running wild at the House of Rags this August, brother. Yeah. 25% off V1 microfiber, brother. Get that.
15% off the new stuff.
So Hulk up on savings, dude, and head over to houseofrags.com.
Guess what? $99 if you buy now, up to $99. Free shipping, get you the new stuff all month long.
Oh, yeah.
It's a microfiber mania sale, so click on that sale if you haven't. And also, if you want to purchase any products using this video, use code DMS at checkout for 10% off. It helps me out. And let's get started with the polishing step. Now, what I'm going to use here is I'm going to use Fabulous finishing polish from Phoenix EOD. I already shook it up. As you can see, it's already shaken up. So I shook it up a bit, and I've used a pad washer for a damp pad. I am using the DIY Detail Gold Standard pad, and this is pretty much soft paint. So I've already worked with this paint in general before, even on some of the reworked areas. So I know what I am getting myself into with this, and I am going to apply a little bit dabs. The push top from Phoenix EOD, I just don't like it. Most of you all know that already. And here I am using Papa Cut just to give it a little bit more cut, because since this is soft paint, I don't want to leave a crazy haze. So I'm going to apply one pea-sized drop of Papa Cut onto my polishing pad, and hopefully I'll bring you all in so you can see that yes, there are some swirls, there are some scratches, even up here, slightly keyed or brushed up against. All of this is is on the paint, but what we're going to do is we can't go for perfection, because the X Body Shop went very, very, very hard on it before. So yeah, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do this in half sections, and I'm just going to do 3 to 4 section passes. That's about it. I'm going to do left to right, up and down, then left to right again, and pretty much that's it with medium arm movement, and see the type of correction we're going to get with this combination. First off, you want to spread the product. Now you're probably wondering why I'm spreading the product. Well, pretty much Phoenix EOD's polishes, they're all diminishing abrasives, so you want to spread it out before you start working it, because if I start working it from here, it's not going to give me the same amount of cut if I was to get down here on the bottom. So you want to spread it out evenly and make sure you get an even amount of cut throughout your entire section passes. All right, so that was 3 section passes, and this is going to tell me if I need to do one more extra pass if need be for the future. And I am gonna wipe this off. So I do have 2 Mr. Twisters. I don't have everything here in this garage. Specifically, I wasn't expecting to have a ceramic coating job again done, you know, as soon as I got here. But yeah, so I didn't order a bunch of stuff. So I have 2 Mr. Twisters. One is dampened with DIY Rinseless V2 rinseless wash as my damp towel. And then for my final buff off, of course, it's just gonna be this, nice and dry. And as you can see, there is just a huge amount of gloss. Huge amount of gloss. Now in terms of swirls and scratches, a little bit more remain than I wanted to. So what I will do is add one more section pass to deal with that and compensate. Because if we move from this section over to this section, a lot more swirls and scratches. And it did leave a little bit of a haze. So this is part of polishing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to see if I could do a 1.5 step and speed things up. And you're seeing it here raw, what a detailer goes through. So I did leave a little bit of hazing behind. So how am I going to compensate for that? Well, guess what? I am just going to do pop a cut real quick, do a quick 1.5 step and follow off with a polishing step. So I will see you in a bit. I will place you down here and I will show you what I mean. So I'm gonna use pop a cut this time on this section. So what I'm gonna use is pop a cut on this right section here. And I'm not gonna go too intensive. It's just gonna be a 1.5 step. See if I can remove those scratches and swirls. Again, I'm not trying to go for perfection, but as you can see, just working it 3 section passes with 1 dab of pop a cut, I was unable to get a true gloss. So I'm gonna go real quick, 3 passes with pop a cut, or maybe 2 passes, and then just follow it up with fab finishing polish. So here we go, same thing. Just gonna dab it right up in here. As I stated, I'm going to be using the pop a cut with the yellow foam pad from DIY Detail. And the reason why I'm doing this combination is because I'm not going for crazy type of correction or, you know, being so aggressive on the paint. I'm just here to get a little bit more defect removal. I'm not going for perfection. I'm just trying to enhance gloss. But just the fact that we did the combo with the polish and the compound and it left a haze, I might as well just do this in 1.5 steps. And I am just polishing quickly. Probably spend about 2 minutes with the compound and probably like 2 minutes with the polish. Pretty quick and easy. And I was around the vehicle fairly quick. So you will see the results in a little bit. So what I did there was 3 quick passes. Took no more than 2 minutes of my time. Unfortunately, if this is what you deal with as a detailer. So when you're a detailer, this is what you deal with. So wipe it off with your dampened towel. Wipe the residue off. Just over here to the side. Same thing. And see what is left behind. As you can see, definitely we removed a lot of those swirls and scratches, and we're just using a medium pad. We're not using a an aggressive pad per se. As you can see, everything looks uniform as such. So that's what we're gonna leave it as. I'm gonna finish up the rest, and then once I'm done doing the same thing with Papa Cut on the top on this door, I will show you how I'll finish off the door to get that perfect gloss. All right, everyone, so I did a quick 3 passes, like I said, with Papa Cut with the yellow pad, and it probably took me max 5 minutes to do this whole panel. We're not going for perfection, but we did alleviate and remove a lot of those scratches, except that one that you see right there. Those are pretty deep, but we are not tackling those. As you can see, it still left a slight little haze, but now we're gonna refinish. I don't have everything in here, so as I said, this is true raw. Use what you have in your arsenal. You can achieve the same thing. Of course, just having the right tools and products will make it just much simpler. So here I have a 6-inch DIY Detail red foam pad. I thought I had a 5-inch here, but I don't. I just made sure I center it as best as I can, and here I already have it damped. And now it is time to apply Fab finishing polish, and this topper broke, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna dab it just a little bit all around on the pad in itself. I'm gonna do one here, one here, one here, and that should be plenty enough to do the whole panel. And you're probably sitting here, I'm gonna do the whole panel. Yes, I am going to do the whole panel, because now I'm just bringing up the gloss and shine. I am not worried about defect removal anymore. My main goal now is to make sure I just have a deep, rich gloss, and it will take me about 2 to 3 minutes to do the whole panel, which you will see here in real time. And it's the same thing, just dab it all across the paint. And yep, that's it. Speed setting 4 on my SPTA. I know you're probably wondering and just watching like, yo, he just spread polish all over the entire door panel. Typically you want to do 2x2 sections, but this is just a 1.5 step. We're not here for crazy defect removal. I really have to preach that. I'm just here to remove 50% of the swirls and scratches and give it the best gloss as possible, so that way it has an even finish before I apply the ceramic coating. And yes, I spread it all over the door panel. It's probably going to take me 2 minutes. This is real time polishing that I'm doing here, and I did pretty much just 2 quick section passes, if I remember correctly. I'm just going left and right, up and down, just so that way I spread the polish and then give that polish a little bit of time to work, and then just finish it off. And this is straight up use what you got. As I said, I don't have all my tools, I don't have all my equipment. I just have certain products here that obviously work great, but in terms of the equipment, definitely I am lacking in that department here. And overall, you will see the shine and gloss on how everything comes out to be. And also, let me know, what type of process would you do? Would you sit there and try to find the best pad and combo for the 1 step, or would you just do what I did, a quick 1.5 step? Because I'm just polishing the whole door in 1 shot compared to doing 2x2 sections. And as you see here, it was actually 3 section passes. But yeah, so let me know all down below in the comment section what you guys would have done in this situation. But I just felt, for me, this is the quickest, instead of trying to figure out the best pad and polish combo, especially when I don't have all the pads that I have in my other garage. So that is pretty much it. We are 3 minutes 46 minutes in. I probably spoke for the first minute. So as I said, this section is not going to take me more than 2 minutes to do, and I'm just going to reveal the results. Now, as you're polishing along, you don't have to wipe off immediately with Fab polish. It does have a long work time, which I love. And with a damp and rinseless towel, it'll easily just make the wipe off even cleaner and better. And as you can see here, this is no contest whatsoever. There's nothing to talk about here. No haze, no nothing. Nice, deep, and rich, as you can see right there. And coming right back here, just to remove this top half. And going to remove the other right side. Now we have a perfectly deep rich. And as I said, if you use these right techniques, it's never black and white with whatever paint you're dealing with. As you see here in real time, this is what I had to do, and this is what I learned throughout my times in detailing is, you know what, we're doing a paint enhancement. We are removing about 50% of swirls and scratches. We're not going too aggressive, but when we try to do the one step with most of it being polish and then the rest and then one dab of compound, we were getting barely any defect removal and we were getting some hazing. Now, to alleviate that, we ended up using Pop-A-Cut with the yellow pad, a cutting compound. Then we finished it off with fab polish. As you can see, it took 2 minutes. I just pretty much applied it as if it was a wax. Speed setting 4 on my SPTA and just applied it. 3 section passes, took 2 minutes to do, and that is it. We got the results we're looking for. And yeah, so I think the results speak for themselves. And yeah. So if you have any questions, leave a comment down below in the comment section and let me know what you think about this process. I'm going to rinse and repeat this, and I will show you on the outro how everything looks like. But as you can see, it came out amazing. So I will see you all on the outro once I'm done polishing everything else. All right, everyone, so we are done polishing the rest of the vehicle and it just looks amazing and glossy. Hopefully it translates on camera on this overcast day, but pretty much this is the stuff that we ran into. So yes, we did have a little bit more of some water spot, you know, scarring and stuff like that that we tackled with the decon step. But when we tried to do the signatures, you know, what I do is a dab of say a compound and the rest is polish to make the polish work a little bit better and cut more. We ended up having actually some hazing. Yes, we removed the rest of the water spot scarring, but the problem is that we had some hazing and it just didn't look right. So to combat that, this is where knowledge and experience comes in, is I just use the same foam pad because I don't want to be too aggressive on this paint. As I stated before, the X Body Shop used a rotary around the whole car. Went pretty aggressive, left holograms, all this other stuff. So what I ended up doing was using the same gold standard waffle pad with Pop-A-Cut compound, and I just went medium speed, pretty quick, so that way I'm able to then come back with the red foam pad. And this goes to show that experience matters, and this can work for you as well. I had a 6-inch pad and I used it on a 5-inch DA, and I just made sure I centered it properly, and I just put on fab polish and I pretty much applied it as if I'm applying a wax on the car. I went pretty quick, just 3 section passes, and that was it. I was able to get the jeweling and gloss that I wanted, and it just looks amazing and stunning. So hopefully you all enjoy this type of video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what process or what way you would have done this if you're an experienced detailer. And if you want to use any of the products that I've used in this videos, go to the House of Rags and use code DMS at checkout for 10% off. And I will see you all once we're ready to ceramic coat the vehicle.